Welcome back to the Homes on Homes podcast. I'm Mike Holmes. I started this podcast to keep educating people on how to make it right, just like I've been doing for over 20 years on television. Here, you'll find raw, unscripted conversations with experts on building healthy homes, choosing quality products, safety at home, and more. Let's get started. Welcome back, another Homes on Homes podcast. Today we're going to be talking about renovations in the COVID period. What is in trend, what the hell is changing, and what we're going to do about it, and what we should actually be learning. Today we have Andre from Sosna Renovations, my son Michael. I don't want to say Junior, he doesn't want it. It's Michael Holmes.
Well, you can call me. It's easier if everyone just calls me Michael. I like it. And really, that's all that matters, right?
I know, but you're my son.
No, you can call me that, but like you guys at home, please just call me Michael.
Tell him.
Call me Michael.
Andre, how the hell are you?
Good, thank you, Mike. How are you?
I'm good. What are you seeing in trends since COVID? What are the changes? What's happening?
Well, a lot of people working from home, so they want to make it more comfortable. They see their kitchens all day long now, and they use their bathrooms all day long now. So of course they want to make them more comfortable, useful, functional. That's one thing what I see. Another thing, a lot of people want to create a work area in their homes now, like a separate private office.
Office,
Right.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, for each partner, everyone, now if there's two partners
That's
working
right.
from home, you need your own offices.
That's right.
Then you throw kids into the mix.
Yeah.
It becomes complicated.
Yeah.
What's really happening is that everyone's home and has been home for a while. A lot of people working from home for the company. Even in my company, a lot of people are at home working in my company. Because of that, they're traveling less, they're saving more money, and they are, like Andre said, looking at the kitchen. Let's do it in the kitchen. The backyard seems to be the massive trend right now, that everyone wants a pool, a hot tub, a closed-in area, a getaway zone, a love zone, a wine zone. We can call it so many different zones, which you've heard me say on the show so many times, and Michael's laughing over there right now. I don't know if you noticed, but my son looks pretty good today.
Oh, wow.
And because he looks so good, Henry's donated all these lights for what we do in this podcast, and I have to thank Henry's because they make my son look good.
Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Henry's.
Andre, would you agree with the backyard being number one? I know basements, bathrooms, kitchens, but I have to say it's the backyard is number one trend right now.
I would agree. I would agree now because summer is now. When winter comes, things will change.
We'll go back indoors.
That's right.
Well, I know personally, I spent a lot of time, a lot of money on my own backyard. We did our garden. We decided we want a backyard oasis. We want different zones, like my dad says. If you're spending a lot of time at home, you want different experiences. You don't want to become bored of being at home. The importance of having an at-home office or two at-home offices, an area where your kids can play, that you can still monitor them, and then an area where, whether you have kids or not, where you can go and have that romantic time, that special time with your partner.
Yeah, we find that many of our clients' kids are teenagers, and parents want to attract kids to spend more time in their home with their parents. So they ask us to create dedicated areas for their kids to bring their friends over, to play games, to watch movies. So they feel like their kids are with them in the house instead of them going to see their friends into someone else's homes. So that's another trend that we see, that parents want to create an area in the house that would attract their own children to spend more time in their home with their own friends.
I think it's been a wonderful experience for parents and kids to be together, and at the same time, it's probably been a train wreck because the kids are not in school, the parents are trying to work, whether or not they're at home working or they're going to the office still, and because of that, the sacrifices come into play. That means taking care of the kids. That means homeschooling, making sure the kids are on the computer. So it isn't just about the trends, it's about the times and what has happened within our families. However, I got a lot of concerns, and a lot of concerns that I have is that This has been the one time period, probably in the last, since I was a kid, that families are staying home so much they don't realize the consequences of staying indoors all the time. When I say consequences, I'm talking about clean indoor air quality. Minimum code, somewhat airtight of a home. And as soon as you're too airtight, you have to have an HRV, heat recovery ventilation, or an ERV, energy recovery ventilation. Everyone should have one or the other, I don't care. Everyone should have one. I don't think we know enough that with our family staying home, that 80% of all the homes in Canada, United States, have poor indoor air quality. That we're seeing a rise in bronchitis, a rise in asthma, a rise in allergies that are crazy. There's all kinds of people in the mall here today, which is great, and I love it because they're all standing outside watching us. What do you think about this? Are you trying to educate homeowners about indoor air quality when they're asking you for a renovation?
Oh, absolutely. Especially, we find that people have a perception that when they away from their house to a cottage or to a getaway, they seem to lower their air conditioning if it's a summertime, or they change their setting on their thermostat because they're not at home, and it changes relative humidity in the house. And they don't realize it because while they're away, even in the summertime, their house has too much humidity. It will affect their finishes because our homes mostly built with wood, and if there's too much humidity, it may cause even mold growth in some areas, and stale, and that will affect the air quality.
Mr. Holmes, what is the average humidistat or humidity we want in our home?
Oh, God. It's a shot in the dark here.
Here.
Between 30 and
40, between 30-40% off the top of my head.
So 40 is the number we're looking for, and that is a natural humidity level. When it is so hot out like it is today, and the humidity levels in the 40-something degrees Celsius range, that's a high humidity. When we have so much humidity, what happens inside our home? I don't know if anyone's noticed you're wearing slippers, you're walking around and your slippers are sticking to the floor. Your hands are sticking to the handrail going up the stairs. These are signs that humidity is too high in your home. When humidity is too high in your home, we get expansion in all the wood. And then all of a sudden, winter comes in, we turn on the furnace, and it pulls out that humidity, and we go right down to low humidity where everything starts to shrink. It starts to contract. And when it contracts, what happens is we break the caulking that we did on our trim, paint starts to peel, cracking within the plaster, and people always say to me, why is my plaster cracking? Why is my trim cracking?
My tile, my grout.
Everything, expansion and contraction. So high humidity, expansion. Low humidity, contraction. How do we solve that?
Well, by good air ventilation, by HRV, by running the proper temperature in the house, not lowering or bringing it down while you're going away.
A proper wall assembly.
Yeah. Proper wall assembly.
Number one, we're not the backwards type. We're the type of people. So mechanical is the number one answer. We need to mechanically control it. But like my son said, if the wall assembly far exceeds a minimum code, then our mechanical systems don't have to work so hard. So as simple as running your fan, even in the summer, if you don't want to spend the money on the air conditioning, is really important. And that means that we're going to want a high efficiency furnace, which pulls the fresh air from outside, cycles it through. Doesn't mean you're turning your furnace on in the summer. It means you're running your fan, which will pull that fresh air in and cycle the air in your home. Little things like upstairs, opening your window, a crack, just a crack. But in order to do that, you have to inject cool. So it's a science that says, is it working? If we close all our windows and we run our mechanicals, we can control the humidity in our home. Simple. Air conditioning, you'll notice this, Turn on the air conditioning, put it at 20 degrees Celsius and or 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and all of a sudden the floors aren't sticking anymore, the handrail's not sticking, and these are signs of high humidity. Pay attention to that.
Now, I think something we're all kind of dancing around here is now spending a lot more time at home. There's things to think about: indoor air quality, your layout in your home, the different zones, the experience for your kids, for your partner. All of these things are important. So now we're seeing new trends where there's offices, where there's an entertainment area for your kids, where you have a backyard area that you can, feel like you're kind of escaping your house. Indoor air quality being a very important part of that, because now that we are spending more time in our house,
Sure.
we need to think of things like low to zero VOC paint, VOC-free products,
Furniture, carpet,
furniture, carpet,
etc.
Yeah, your furnace filter, changing that. It's a a holistic point of view. It's not just one thing. You got to take all of these things as a whole and approach it that way. Now, as a renovator, as a contractor, what's the biggest? Are you seeing a lot of people saying? I know you've said offices, entertainment zone. Is there like a whole trend that you're seeing everyone lean to, or is it just kind of like, I need a place to work and I need a place for my kids?
Yeah, and I need a place to a lot of people wanting gyms to the exercise areas,
Right.
because they stay in a house, everything is locked and locked down, so they need a place to work, they need a place to chill and to exercise and stay healthy, and they need to have their family to be close to them.
Right.
That's what I would say major trends.
I see this as being the new era, the new normal, the new norm, is that we need to start designing homes with all these functions, with a real office, maybe to get away for husband and wife to work at home, because I see the future happening this way. I see less commercial buildings. I see a problem for all shopping malls, which they should turn into condos, which is another subject in the future. What we need to do is evaluate what's happening now and forecast the future. Those who can forecast the future can actually make money doing this and save problems, family issues for families. You said it. They want to work out at home. They want to have an office to work with. They want to have a kids' room so they're not running all over the house. They have a place to play on their own, whether it's a tree fort. When you were a kid, what did I build you?
Tree fort.
A big tree fort.
Big one.
And then a jungle gym.
Yeah.
Right? Because when
Yeah.
I was a kid, that's what I built myself.
Yeah.
With knowing all of this, we talked about an ERV, an HRV, heat recovery ventilation. I think we all need to actually make sure that we at least have, no matter what, even if you have these, an air cleaner in your home. Go to the big box store, go to any Canadian Tire, I love Canadian Tire, and buy yourself an air cleaner that cleans 99.99% of the air. If you're doing renovations, you want an air cleaner. Like, I freak at my guys if they don't have it. We want to clean the air always. Especially if you have kids, we tend to think about the kids. If you don't have kids, we don't normally think about ourselves because we can't see what's in the air. That's something that I would like to push. If you like the show, check out the episode page on makeitright.ca for more tips. Listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Amazon Music. Subscribe so you don't miss an episode.